Alright, yeah, how's it going, guys? And welcome back to some more Magic Arena. And this one's going to be a special video today, because today, probably for you guys the day after, Eldraine Courtside Brawl just got released onto Magic Arena. So this is our first opportunity to actually play a little bit of Brawl. And as you can maybe tell, I haven't played this. I haven't really looked at any of the decks, so I feel like, you know, I'm going to go in blind for this one for the most part. I'll probably look over all of the commanders, and if we enjoy this one, then I'll probably go through all 4 of the commanders at one point on the channel. So, what is Brawl? It's essentially Commander, and for those who don't know what that is, it is a 60-card deck in Standard, and we're going to look at Wild Bounty, because I think this is going to be the deck that I'm going to play first today. You have yourself a Commander, so this card is sitting on the side of the battlefield until you decide to cast it, and then it does something special that hopefully the rest of the deck synergizes with. So in this case, we've got Tulane, Teller of Tales, 2 green, white, and blue for a 2/4 with Vigilance. Whenever you cast a creature spell, draw a card, and then you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield, and then you can pay 3 and tap it to return a creature you control to its owner's hand. So what I can tell from the commander, that's how I would build it anyway, this is going to be kind of a flicker deck kind of thing. However, less flicker and more bounce back to your hand for a recast. So casting spells like Spectral Sailor will draw us a card and then put a land into play. So I assume we're running one more land than we normally would. Okay. Yeah, I mostly want to go in a little bit blind to this one, but kind of give you guys like the general gist of the deck, I guess. And the commanders tend to do that as well, for the most part. And then we've also got like Tome of Legends. Which one's this one? Whenever your commander enters the battlefield or attacks, put a page counter on it, remove a page counter, draw a card. Alright, so this is card draw rock, essentially. And then we've got Forerunners to bounce. Whenever one of them are non-cute. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, so I'm going to go in blind for this one. We're going to see what cards crop up as and when we play it. We've got some Brawl cards like Arcane Signet, and I imagine Command Towers in here as well. This was just spoiled earlier today, or for you guys yesterday. Add 1 mana of any colour to your commander's colour identity, so that's going to be in Standard for a year, which is pretty sweet, helping out the Brawl. Oh my god, all these differently coloured differently arted basics. They're pretty sweet art though. Ooh, John Avon art. Nice, 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 nice. Anyway, let's look at the other commanders, so we have a rough idea what we're going to be playing against. There's Fairy Schemes. I'm not going to go into the deck itself, I'm just going to kind of glean what the deck is doing from the commander. So, an Esper and 1 for Elea, Artful Provocateur. 2/3 for a Flying Death Touch lifelink. Decently statted. Other creatures you control with flying get +1/+0, and whenever you cast an artifact or enchantment spell, create a 1/1 blue fairy token with flying. So basically make a 2/1 every artifact or enchantment. So going to be casting lots of artifacts and enchantments, hopefully some artifact flying creatures or enchantment flying creatures, though they don't exist. Theros was also confirmed, coming from the next set, so you never know. Enchantment creatures might not be too far behind. But yeah, I'm imagining this is going to be artifacts and enchantments matter, flying kills you kind of deck. And then we got Savage Hunter, which is Corvold Fey Cursed King, 2 unjund for a 4/4 flyer. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, sacrifice another permanent. Whenever you sacrifice a permanent, put a counter on it and draw a card. So this guy is going to be like your all-in commander, smash face, and then try to get like things that like being sacrificed. So I think food tokens have been spoilt recently, so a food token is an artifact similar to like a clue or a treasure, and you can pay 2 to gain 3 life from it. So I imagine you want to be making lots of food tokens to sacrifice those to Corvold and make him nice and big, and hopefully kill your opponent with just this card. I imagine our creature count... Oh, creature count's 21. I would imagine it'd be like an all-in kind of strategy with this dude, but it is not. We live and we learn. Alright, and then the final one is Knight's Charge, and we've got Sir Gwyn, Hero of Ashvale, so Mardu, and 3 for a 5/5 with Vigilance and Menace. Really decently statted there, I would say. Whenever an equipped creature you control attacks, draw a card and you lose 1 life. An equipment you control has Equipped Knight, 0. It should be noted that this commander is also a knight. One of the things when I saw this being spoiled was Colossus Hammer. 1 mana equipped for 0 on Sergwyn makes this a 15/15 for 6 mana with Vigilance and Menace. So all you have to do is draw this and you're in a really good spot. Let's just say that. So this is going to be an Equipment Matters card with Knight synergy. I have to guess. That's probably going to be it. And it looks kind of like it, except for there's a Shivan Dragon in here. Not going to question that. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into some gameplay. As always, if you do enjoy this kind of content and you want to see more of it, if you want to see Brawl on the channel, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. If we get the nice viewership, then I'll know that you guys want to see more of it, and I will obviously make more of it. This is probably going to be a staple on the channel, is Brawl content when it actually comes around, so hopefully you guys enjoy that kind of thing. And without further ado, let's get into the gameplay and see what it's like. Okay, we're in, and oh my goodness, this is sweet. Alright, I'm going to take this hand, I think. We do need green mana. But free mulligan? Oh, free mulligan. This just seems really good though. If I just get green mana, you just know that I'm never gonna get green mana though, don't you? Let's take our free mulligan. Oh goodness, this is much worse. Okay, now we will go for the mulligan to 6. All right, this one's good. We got the Arcane Signet, so that's ramp, Leafkin Druid. I'm up for this, and I think we all know the Parhelion has to go, sadly, to the bottom. Alright, so, let's lead off with our Simic Guildgate. This is cool. This is cool. Oh, by the way, I got my bird cap. That's cool. I don't really like where our opponent's commander is sitting. Ooh, there was a thing up here for a little while. Also, my commander's name seems to be off to the side, but actually you can do that off the side here, so that's pretty cool. So that's going to be our commander, so we're against the Artifact Flyer deck anyway. That's what we're going to call it. And we're just going to go with the Arcane Signet here, I think. Yeah, let's just lead off with that. Less chance of our Leafkin Druid dying, and we've got more mana to work with on this one since it's 3 colours. All the colours of our Brawl commander. Golden Egg. 2 mana, draw a card. Okay. Let's go with Leafkin Druid. Pass the turn. So we've got 4 mana. We need 5. So a land off the top is going to be our commander. Ready to go. So we can do some Tulane. Doesn't do anything on its own cast. But when we cast our Biomancer's Familiar, we're going to be able to draw cards. So that's going to be pretty sweet. And also, Biomancer's Familiar, the activated abilities of creatures you control cost 2 less to activate. Means Tulane's tap effect there at the bottom, this one right here, only costs 1 mana. That is sick. Alright, well, we kind of whiffed a little bit on our cards there. I'm going to take more lands, honestly. Animating Fairy. Ah, yes, we got the Adventures. So for those who have missed it, I'll go through what Adventures do in just a second. I'm just wondering whether or not I want to play this Biomancer's Familiar or just hold it. Because we've got some very expensive stuff here that I'm not going to be able to activate on Tulane. So I think I might just leave it. Alright, so anything that has Adventure in it, you can either, when this is in your hand, you can cast it for its Adventure, which is Bring to Life in the bottom left-hand corner there. So target non-creature artifact you control becomes a 0/0 artifact creature, put 4/1/1/1 counters on it. So you can make a 4/4 for 3 mana, or you can cast it for 3 mana for a 3/2 flyer, or a 2/2 flyer in this case. If you do use the Adventure cost, it will exile itself once you've cast it, and then you can actually cast this other side here, the big card part, later down the line. So it's pretty cool. I like it. I dig it. Alright, let's get down Tulane. Hopefully he doesn't die. Next turn we can start Familiaring or something like that. Maybe Goleming. Bouncing Golem seems pretty broken. With Biomancer's Familiar. Ooh, they've even got a new border as well. That's pretty sweet. I'm not sure if that's just for Brawl or Throne of Eldraine, but that's pretty cool nonetheless. Alright, our opponent managed to get their Arcane Signet, so they get a 2/1 Fairy from from Kingdom Hearts. Ah, Conclave Tribunal. Alright, so our opponent's going to take care of Tulane, and the way that commanders work is that we can choose where Tulane goes. So the Tribunal wants to put him in exile. We can actually allow that if we had some artifact removal, which technically we do, or enchantment removal. So we could bring him back for a Meteor Golem. Otherwise, we put him in our command zone, and when we cast him again, he's going to cost 2 more mana. So, 4, 5, 6, I'm land off of playing Meteor Golem. I think I'm just going to time wipe next turn anyway, so I'm just going to put him in exile. You can have him. He'll be under the Tribunal for the time being. Hopefully that's not going to... that's not going to be a mass punishment. We'll have to see. We got our land, which means we can do the Meteor Golem. Or is this time to actually go for the time wipe? I could Meteor Golem a Layla, and then time wipe, bouncing Meteor Golem, kill everything else. Or I could just get Tulane down. What do you do? Another creature enters the battlefield under your control. It fights up to one target creature you don't control. Damn. Damn, that's good. Oh, this is sweet. Alright, I'm just going to get back my Tulane. I wanna draw some cards. So, kill the Tribunal. Fire Knowledge at our opponent and see what we can do. So, if we want to bounce Meteor Golem and Time Wipe, what are we looking at? Ugh. Oh, that's rough. Do we lose now for not time wiping at the right time? I think we might. I think we just lost for not time wiping at the right time. Yeah, because everything gets indestructible. I could just play like my familiars and things like that. But yeah, I'm just going to be dead in the air. 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, just can't. That was basically the top deck they needed. Alright, so we draw a card and we put a land into play. Pretty sweet combo. We got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I could do Tulane. It's just not enough, but, you know, for the sake of going out swinging, we're going to do this. We can do Tulane, bounce. Who do we want to bounce? The Meteor Golem, time wipe. This is what we could have done had we been cooler. We're going to bring Tulane back to our hand. Only killing their Sephara, otherwise we would have been killing everything and replaying our stuff and going off. But unfortunately, it's not good enough. And that's going to be the game. Womp womp. Okay, we are in, and this hand looks pretty decent. We got an incubation to look at the top 5 cards and grab a creature. Also, Risen Reef is pretty sweet. We got the cutest little turtle who could. And a Firemine's Vessel for ramp, which could help us get to Tulane. So yeah, I'm going to keep this one. Question is, do I want to lead off with the Forest into Incubation, or just go for the Selesnya Guildgate and use Incubation as my turn 2 play? I think the likelihood is that I'll want to Incubation first and look for a 2-drop that I can use, or a 3-drop that goes well with Risen Reef, something like that anyway. Yeah, I think we want to go for Incubation. Let's see what we can get. Frilled Mystic. None of these are actually really that good, honestly. Frilled Mystic is pretty sweet with Tulane, though, being able to bounce this to actually replay it and keep countering, drawing cards. Actually seems busted. Good lord. Yeah, I guess we're going to take Frilled Mystic. It is revealed. And now we can go with the Selesnya Guildgate, if we don't draw a 2-drop, which leads right into Risen Reef, hopefully ramping us. Ramp is what we need. Firemine's Vessel does seem a little bit slow. Ooh, Beanstalk Giant, our first adventurer that we might be casting. So, Beanstalk Giant is a 7-mana Power and toughness equal to the number of lands you control. Pretty sweet, pretty cool art. However, we can actually cast Fertile Footsteps instead for 3 mana to search our library for a basic land card, put it into our battlefield, and then shuffle our libraries. It's kind of like Spring to Mind from Arm & Cap. I dig it. Yeah, let's just go with Selesnya Guildgate. Pass the turn. I think we'll go for Risen Reef next turn into maybe Beanstalk Giant for the basic. If we have more lands in play than in our deck, then Risen Reef has a better chance of hitting them. Let's see if there's any clickables around here. Do we have any clickables? Doesn't look like it, actually. That's a shame. Mask of Immolation for our opponent from M20. Yeah, let's just lead off with the Risen Reef here, I guess. Come on, land. Land, land, land. Good stuff. Alright, it was a basic, which I don't think is going to hurt us. I highly doubt we've only got 4 basics in our deck, so Beanstalk Giant should be able to get us another one. 7 mana. Basically a 7 mana 7/7. Never went over our commander, actually. We're going against the Korvold Fey Cursed, so the Jund dude who sacks stuff, which has a nice little synergy with our opponent's sacrificing things here. So it really benefits from all of that. It only says whenever you sacrifice a permanent as well, so it's not as a result of Korvold doing any sacking. And they're going to kill our Risen Reef. Fair enough. Alright, well we do get Tulane down if we want it. Tulane, and follow that up next turn with a 4/4 Steelbane Hydra. God, this thing's a monster for killing artifacts and enchantments, which might actually be really, really good. Yeah, I guess we're going to go with Tulane. Let's see if we can take our opponent's removal from their hand. And what we can do instead then is maybe go Firemind's Vessel for 2 mana. Yeah, okay. We're going to put you in the command zone, since I'm pretty sure we have no graveyard synergy here. And they get a ping us for 1, and hit us for 3. It's not going very well for our first ever Brawl outing. Good lord. Temple of Malady. And Scries to the bottom, that's good for us, of course. So yeah, now that Tulane's gone back to our command zone, he actually now costs 2 extra there. The cost modified, it goes up by 2 for each time it enters the command zone. So we could do Blossoming Sands, Firemind's Vessel. I kind of like the idea of keeping lands in hand, though, because Tulane puts them onto the battlefield when we cast spells. So we could do, like, Firemind's Vessel instead to make up for the 2 extra costs there. And then Blossoming Sands as our tap land. It's a shame we don't have double blue, though. But now we have the Firemind's Vessel. That's actually a thing. Here comes Korvold. Okay, ping us for 1. And big up your boy. Yeah, it's gonna be a rough one. Gonna be a rough one. Alright, so we go Plains, and yeah, I guess we go with Tulane again. We can always do Steelbane Hydra for 0 and draw a card. It's possible, but I think it's probably not a good idea, ultimately. Let's get him down. He is kind of our build-around commander. And then from there, we can hold up and Frilled Mystic. Play our Steelbane Hydra. They've just got it all. Good God. Alright, back to the command zone you go, my boy. Can't catch a break today. Wow. So, destroy my commander. And swing in. Opponent has to sacrifice a permanent. They've got plenty of lands to do that with, though. And Beanstalk Giant, as much as he should probably have reach, does not. Which would have been able to trade off. Down to 5, and if we don't find an answer to Korvold, we're dead again. Priest of the Forgotten Gods bans creatures. And, well, actually, it doesn't quite ban creatures, but it's close enough. Fairy Formation. We can actually use that to produce a flyer, which isn't too bad, I suppose. But we're going to lose it to Priest of the Forgotten Gods, no doubt. They only need the Corvold to swing in, so they can just play one creature, kill us that way. There's not really much we can do about it. Yeah, opponent just drew and played better than us. Have they changed the look on counters? They look different to me. These +1/+1 counters here, they look kind of different. Okay, opponent. You can't seriously tell me you got nothing here. Okay. Well, we're gonna make a fairy, draw a card. Opponent sacks a permanent. Did that in the wrong order, didn't I? Oh, I'm so bad at Magic the Gathering. I deserve to lose now. Yeah, I should have just waited until after that trigger was on the stack. Forgot about Mayhem Devil, honestly. Alright. Blood-soaked altar. Start sacking permanents, making 5/5s. We were just never going to win, even after that punt. Not a chance. Not a chance. Yeah, so trade the priest for a 5/5 that I can do nothing about. Take one. And we draw a Leafkin Druid, which does literally nothing. We get to cast the Beanstalk Giant. Let's go on an adventure before we die. Sad and alone. Alright, get that John Avon Island. It's actually untapped as well. That's sweet. And then we get to cast him from exile. A 9/9 that does nothing. And next game. Okay, we're in, and 1 mana, add 1 mana of any colour. Seems useful. Can I take this hand? This deck, from the past 2 losses that we've had with it, seems very much reliant on the early game ramp, and there is literally none in this hand, apart from a turn 3 mana dork that probably just dies. Yeah, I'll take my free mulligan on that one. And it's got Incubation Druid, Circuitous Root, and Firemind's Vessel. Looking good. Alright, let's lead off with our Blossoming Sands as our tap land. Our opponents are playing the Sir Gwyn, Hero of the Ashvale, so this is the Equipment Matters Knight deck. Let's see how well we do against this one. Hopefully we have a good matchup at some point. It feels like this actually might be the weakest of all the decks. As broken as the commander is, I don't think this deck is particularly built very well. Like, there's Par Healing in the top end, which does literally nothing with your Tulane at all. So I don't know. It's a ramp source, I guess, but I just don't like it. Alright, our opponent played Order of Midnight, so it's a 2 mana 2/2 that can't block. They could have done the Altar of Fate instead, which returns a creature from our graveyard to their hand. So obviously this doesn't do anything in its sorcery adventure side. We do want to play a untapped land here. And do we want to thin the deck with the Circuitous Root? Probably. Go and grab our Guild Gates. So let's get our blue sources. Since we do have Frilled Mystic in here, that seemed like a really cool card to play when we actually had the opportunity to do so. And this looks like the hand, or the start that the game really wants us to have, so that's nice. I'm glad that we're in that position. Maybe I'm casting Tulane a little bit too early. Maybe I want to have way more mana to actually cast Tulane plus a spell. I'm not really sure if I'm supposed to just like set up or not. But so far so good. Our opponents only got 2/2s. They are draining us for 1 on the Knight's Charge, which actually has a pretty cool activated ability there of returning all knights from the graveyard to the battlefield. It's pretty cool. It's like what's the Dominaria one? Primeval's Glorious Rebirth. but with upside. It's pretty sweet. Alright, we're going to go with the Biomancer's Familiar. Draw a card. If it's a land, we get to put into play, untapped, or however it chooses to be. So now Tulane's activated ability is only 1, which is pretty cool. So I might actually just, like, bounce the Familiar and replay the Familiar. Or I guess bounce the Incubation Druid, since it's free. Combo. Do that. Draw a card. See what we draw. Foreboding Spirit, and yeah, that seemed pretty cool. We'll go with like Thorn Mammoth later, I reckon. 3, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we could do Thorn Mammoth next turn, and then just start picking apart their board. Do I want to keep the incongruity? Maybe. Maybe. I don't think there's... there is a Spectral Sailor, I think, in this deck as our 1 mana spell, but I think that's about really it, so I'm just gonna pass. We could have gotten in for 2 as well on the Vigilance. I got ahead of myself. It's the first time I've been able to combo with this card, so give me a break. Bell of the Brawl. Alright, we've got ourselves a Thorn Mammoth target. We've actually just got a Time Wipe. I think I take this Time Wipe, so... Ooh, we even got a land. Cool. So what we're going to do, since we can't really attack, is we are going to Tulane, bounce Biomancer's Familiar back to hand, since it's cool. And then we're going to tap for white on the Incubation Druid and go for a Time Wipe, bouncing Tulane to our hand. Wipe our opponent's board, and leave them with not very much. I'm going to go with the Biomancer's Familiar as our replay there. Again, because I don't think there's many 1/1s, and honestly, Incongruity on their commander seems like a better option at this stage. Marauder's Axe. If we can get Thorn Mammoth doing its thing for quite some time, then that's going to be very good for us as well. So let's go Tulane. Get that down, and now we have the Incongruity. We can even ban combat for the most part, put a Ghostly Prison effect in from the Foreboding Spirit. Shining Armor was just played. When it ends the battlefield, you attach it to a target knight you control, and it gets +0, +2, and Vigilance, so not too bad at all. This only has Adapt Shenanigans, so yeah, we're just going to pass. This is the setup we want. Hit our opponent for 2. And I think we're going to lock our opponent out the game with Thorn Mammoth. So yeah, they've only got 4 mana to work with here. They do get to scry on the Temple of Triumph, so maybe sorting out an answer to Tulane. As long as we leave 1 mana open, thanks to the Familiar, though, we can bounce Tulane repeatedly out of range of whatever our opponent's doing. So I think we just play like Fairy Formation and draw a card, right? That seems probably like the best thing we could do, and if we hit land, we can do Firemine's Vessel and still leave Tulane open. Should be doing this pre-combat. No, post-combat, sorry. Got a Marrowleaf Pixie. Alright, well, we're going to get in for 4. Should be doing it post-combat, just in case our opponent has something interesting. It's just rule of thumb, you should be doing that. Yeah, we're just going to play the Marrowleaf Pixie here, draw a card. Put an island into play. Very good, very good. And yeah, I think we're just going to pass. The activated abilities, thanks to Biomancer's Familiar, has actually reduced this to 2 mana to make a 1/1 and draw a card. So, single combat. Each player chooses a creature or planeswalker they control and sacrifices the rest. Players can't cast creatures or planeswalker spells until the end of their next turn. So we are going to bounce, I think, Biomancer's Familiar back to our hand. And then we're going to choose Tulane to keep. And we can't cast any of our creatures now, so we'll just go with the Firemine's Vessel. Get in for 2. And just set up for a really nice turn. We could go for the Incubation, but they're going to be bringing down their Sir Gwyn in no time at all. So I think I'm just going to pass with this open. Could do the Flower Flourish, but I think we've got enough mana at this point where it's just not too crazy of a good thing to do anyway. And our opponent, they did hit a tap land there with the Evolving Wilds, but they could cast Seguin, right? Yeah, they could cast Seguin, just choosing not to. Okay. And now we're back in, baby. We got the Biomancer's Familiar. Makes me curious why they're choosing not to cast anything here. So I am going to go for the pre-combat stuff, because I don't really want to have my opponent remove my Tulane and me have to bounce it. That would be unfortunate. So I'm just going to try and get as much value in as possible before I go to combat, just in case they do have a removal spell. Growth Spiral, put Plains into play. Might as well play the Foreboding Spirit, right? Beanstalk Giant. Might as well cast that on its... Honestly, making a 12/12 seems pretty good. Do I need the basic at this point? Can I even do that? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I actually can't do that. I can only do this side. Alright, Fertile Footsteps. Grab. I don't think it really matters. Let's get an island. I'll leave my incongruity open. And swing for 2. Planning on bouncing the Foreboding Spirit at the end step. Arcane Signet. And here comes Sir Gwyn. Alright. Does have some equipment to attach, but we have the incongruity to turn it into a 3/3, so we can dodge a little bit of that. Would love that that turtle. The Turtle Hydra. It looks like Thorn Mammoth is gonna bite the dust, unfortunately, not being big enough. It's gonna be his downfall. So let's bounce the Foreboding Spirit. It's just a redraw. It's pretty nice. And you know what? Let's go for the incongruity, I think. Turn that into a 3/3 that the Thorn Mammoth can then fight. Make Sir Gwyn a little bit more expensive to cast. Risen Reef is probably pretty disgusting, honestly. So let's do Thorn Mammoth. Draw a card. Put a land into play. We're doing it, chat. We're doing it. Alright. Fight you. And we can do this all with Tulane mana open. So let's get a 14/14 into play. 15/15 into play. Sorry. And yeah, let's go. Hit you for 4. We could actually, cool adventure synergy here. We could bounce the Beanstalk Giant to use the Fertile Footsteps again. That seems like the right kind of card. Could be broken. Even in Standard Constructed. Yeah, I just don't know how our opponent comes back from this. If they play anything that's smaller than a 6/6, I'm just going to Hulk smash everything. So, opponent gets in for 2. We allow it. We're just going to bounce Biomancer's Familiar here, because we're going to replay it anyway. And use it to get the Thorn Mammoth to start fighting some stuff. So how do we want to fight? So let's go Biomancer's Familiar first. Draw a card. Runaway Together's pretty good. So we will fight... Where do we want to start with this? There's probably an order to this, because you can actually do the Thorn Mammoth bounce on Runaway Together and replay that, resetting its toughness, so we can keep fighting some stuff. I reckon we can probably wipe our opponent's board with the right turn order here. Let's do Knight first. Then we'll do Risen Reef. Risen Reef, draw Spectral Sailor, okay. So Risen Reef, Thorn Mammoth is going to fight the Sky Knight Legionnaire, and then we're going to put a land into play. Then we're going to go Spectral Sailor, fight the Order of Midnight. And then we're going to bounce with Runaway Together. I suppose we actually have to bounce this token, but it doesn't really matter because we have a big, huge giant in play. Alright, we got our win. So that's okay. And for winning... Oh my god. Oh my god. Alright, chat. Reserve your excitement for 1 minute while we go over what we just won as part of the event. This is a side note. A side note entirely. So, for our first win, we actually got 1000 XP, which is the level. And we also got a playset of Heraldic Banners. 3 mana artifact. And it's the battlefield. You choose a colour. Creature of the chosen colour get +1/+0. And it's a mana rock as well. So it's pretty useful in a Brawl deck that's creature focused, I guess. Every single win actually gets you a brand new playset. So we had Sir Conrad, which I think was in our opponent's deck. I don't think we ever saw it, though. Excuse me. Fairy Vandal, which is really broken in mono blue tempo. Thank God it's mostly rotating. Hopefully enough of it's rotating that makes this a dead card. That's what I really hope. We also have Savvy Hunter, which looks to be a pretty good food payoff card. Create a food token whenever it attacks or blocks, and then sacrifice 2 of those to draw a card. Other knights you control on the Inspiring Veteran get +1/+1. This one you definitely want. Most of the time I would say you get at least the 1 win, but honestly, with knights being pushed in Throne of Eldraine, I imagine Boros Knights to be a thing. And honestly, I can think of a deck in Historic that will run this. If you think about Path of Metal deck, that has a pretty good knight synergy, since it has the History of Benalias and the Sky Knight Legionnaires. It's basically Boros, Path of Metal, but it has a knight sub-theme, so I really love this card, and I wish it wasn't coming at a time when the rest of the cards were rotating, but here we are. And then the final one is the Order of Midnight, which is what our opponents were playing when they lost. This one you could probably hit or miss, honestly. I don't know if this one's particularly playable, but that's it. Anyway, as I was mentioning, if I go to my Mastery Pass, a Mythic ICR on my Mastery Pass gave me an actual freaking Mythic. That is 6 for 7 on Mythic ICRs, giving me gems. Thank Christ for that. And it was even a Sorin, which is hugely playable right now as well, so I'm over the moon on that one. But anyway, guys, I'm probably going to leave it off here if I have any hope to actually get this video out on time. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you want to see more of this, I'm probably going to make a video for each of the Brawl decks as well, so let me know down in the comment section below which one you would like to see me play next. So there's the Knight's Charge one that we just played against. The Savage Hunter's Sacrifice one, that seemed pretty cool actually. There was a lot of synergy value in there, so I really do like a build-around Brawl commander for that reason. There's lots of stuff that seem to enable Corvold without having to sacrifice things that you actually care about, so that was pretty cool. And then we also have the Fairy Schemes as well, which destroyed us in the first game thanks to the good old Safara up at the end here. So, yeah, if you want to see any of those, let me know down in the comment section below. I'll be playing Brawl probably all week by the looks of things, so, yeah. If you enjoyed these videos, though, and you want to see more, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for some more content in the future. If you hit the little bell icon as well, it will give you notifications when future videos go live. I hope you've all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.